Organizing your backpack or suitcase the right way is, in my opinion, one of the most important things when it comes to a one-bag life and travel in general. That's why this video is all about how I organize my own 30-liter carry-on sized bag for my own personal one-bag life to make it as easy and as uncomplicated as possible to live that lifestyle and even to travel with it. And at the end of the video, I will give you my best tip on how you can find a very easy and simple way to organize your own bag for your next trip, even if you're not pursuing a one-bag life. So don't miss out. For all of you who are new to my channel, I'm Sven, just an extreme minimalist with less than 150 possessions, whose biggest desire is to live his whole life out of just one carry-on sized backpack. So if you end up liking the video, don't forget to subscribe and like. But most important, share a comment with your thoughts at the end of the video and join me on my journey to a true one-bag life and to find out how an extreme minimalist lifestyle looks like. But I would say, let's get started. Most of the times we think that choosing the right items to bring on your next trip is the hardest part for every planning for a trip. But then we quickly realized it's not actually what to bring on the trip, it's actually how to pack these things you want to bring on that trip in a very easy and efficient way so everything fits in one bag and is easily accessible. And honestly, sometimes it is still the same for me, even for an extreme minimalist who's pursuing a one-bag life. Sometimes it's very hard to fit everything that I currently own for my whole life into one backpack. And it's especially hard to make it in a very organized or simple and easy way so I can get access to everything that I need as fast as possible and still bring everything that I need. That's why, in my opinion, a good system and an organized bag is one of the key things to mention about a one-bag life and, as I said, travel in general. And before we start talking about the practical tips for your bag or your suitcase, I just want to quickly mention that there is no, I would say, single right or wrong way to pack your bag. No matter what you're doing, you need to find your own way to pack your bag because every needs are different. You can for sure take this video as an inspiration how you maybe can pack your bag, but in the end you need to decide for yourself what is the best way to pack your bag and to organize your things in a bag or a suitcase. But now with that out of the way, let's talk about the practical tips how you can organize your bag or suitcase for your next trip as efficient and as easy as possible. So first of all, I want to mention this laptop compartment here at the back. And I definitely would say if you have a laptop compartment, you should absolutely use it for your laptop. And if you watched my last video, you already saw that I use a laptop sleeve for my laptop because I think it's like an extra layer of protection, and I also consider everything that I use for my laptop in here as well. My laptop again is not in the sleeve right now, it's standing up there next to my camera, but I have everything here inside that I would need. So I have my earphones if I want to edit my videos, for example. I also store my e-reader inside this sleeve, and I also have my SSD if I want to edit from these SSDs. So I would highly recommend getting a sleeve or something else where you can put everything inside with your laptop itself. So if you want to do something on your laptop, you just have to put out this sleeve, and this makes it much easier to organize everything when it comes to working or watching videos or whatever you want to do on your laptop. But now let's go take a look inside the bag. So as you already know, I'm not a big fan of these quick access pouches. That's why I'm not talking a lot about it, because I think you can so easily steal something out of there or get stolen when you put something valuable in there. So as you maybe know, or as you maybe can see in the last video, I just store some miscellaneous items in here, like some grocery bags or something like that. So it's not a very interesting pouch for me. That's why we're switching to the inside of the bag. And here, if you have the privilege to have like these big compartments as I do in my bag, I would say definitely use them, because these will be maybe the pouches that you have the quickest access to, that are a little bit more secure as these, as I said, quick access pouches here at the top of the bag. So this is the space where I store everything that I need, especially when I go into transit on the airport or so. So here, as you already saw in my last video, is my pouch with everything, every important document and every copy of it. So if I go to the airport, they need my passport or they need a copy of my passport, I just quickly unzip this bag. As I said, I have a backlog on this bag normally, and then I can just get out my passport or a copy of something, so everything easy accessible without opening up like the whole main compartment. And as well, there is this bigger pouch where my rain jacket sits, and that is a very, very handy thing to have rain gear or something protective always always at a quick access pocket, because I think if it starts raining, I don't want to like mess around with the whole bag, unzip everything to get my raincoat. I just want to maybe unzip the bag, get the raincoat out of here, and it's much easier. The things in here won't get as wet as when I need to open everything up inside here. So definitely use these pockets as well. So, and as you can see, maybe the first thing when we go inside the bag is that I would say everything is very tightly packed. So as always, this is my sample for the camera because I'm actually filming on the camera, so you can see them in the bag, and it sits normally right under here. So everything is very tightly packed. I don't have a lot of like free spaces where I could put things. And that is one major thing that makes it so easy and accessible to pack a bag. I think if you don't have a lot of like space left, you definitely know where to put your things, and after realizing that you don't need to stress yourself as much when you look for them. But let's go on and continue. And the first thing that you will see is that I use like a lot of pouches and packing cubes. So I try to organize my bag in a very simple way, so I know everything that is inside these packing cubes will fit one specific purpose. And as I already mentioned, you can see this in the last video what exactly is in these packing cubes. But yeah, that's why I'm organizing it with these packing cubes. But let's go on to maybe the first and maybe the most important tip. And if I close up my bag again, you can see that this is the top of the bag and this is the bottom of the bag. So if I open this up, still the top of the bag and here's the bottom of the bag. And I highly suggest to you that the most or the heaviest items that you will have in your bag should always be stored at the bottom of the bag. That's because when you close up the bag and would zip it tight, it would stand by itself. So you get a lot of stability actually inside of your bag, and it won't like drain your shoulders so much. So if you use a good harness system like this bag has, it is much easier to carry the weight on your bag if the heaviest things are in the bottom of the bag. So for me, that's my clothing items. So I have these two packing cubes that are full of clothes, and these two together are the heaviest items in my bag. So I always store them down here, so I know the heaviest weight is always at the bottom. So, and as well as these heaviest things, I always store things that I don't use a lot on the bottom of this bag, and I'll show you them for a second. And that is actually my dry bag and my snorkel. I use these things only for diving, and I don't dive a lot actually, sometimes when I have time and actually money. So I can store them here down right underneath the packing cubes, because I know I will use these maybe once or twice a month, so I don't need like quick access to them. So if you have flat items or items that will fit perfectly in your bag, just put them right down to the bottom if they are like not easy to break, and then it would fit me much better with the rest of your stuff. Then it's easy to say that you should put the things that you will have quick access to at the top of your bag. And this is my main pouch for almost everything that I need elsewhere else clothes. So here is my tag, here are my toiletries, and these are maybe the things that I will use more often than some of the clothing items here in these packing cubes. And that's why this packing cube always sits at the top of my bag. At the moment, my shoes are covering it, so it is not perfectly made at the moment. But if you put these away in your hotel, you will always have a very quick access point to the things you will need the most. So I highly recommend putting the quick access things at the top, or as I mentioned, in these like pouches here at the front of your bag if you have these, so you can easily access them. When we then talk about another category of things, and this is my example for this category, because normally I don't put my camera into any of these packing cubes, because sometimes I think this camera will get scratched easily if I put this in the packing cube with the tech stuff, because there are other things that can be scratched. So I always put this camera in this pouch and put it right between every packing cube. So I try to put everything that is valuable, everything that can easily be broken, in the middle of the bag, because this is normally the space in every bag where it is the most protected, because underneath there are the heavy items, so normally it won't get crushed by heavy items. On the other side, the heavy items are most of the times are clothed, so you will have like a puffer for every side of this middle part of your bag, so that's very important as well. And lastly, as you maybe saw in my last video, I do have a sling, or I carry a sling with me. And actually most of the times I don't use it anymore, because I pack everything that I need into my pouches of my trousers. But if I'm in transit and I don't want to just carry my big bag and have my passport and have some emergency cash, I have my credit card and my phone, I would highly recommend using a sling as an extra device for your organization. Because sometimes you just don't want to unzip even this part of the bag here and just get like, open up this and unzip here and then just put your passport inside here, and everything fits very neatly and easy, so you have quick access to that as well. So I would highly recommend getting a sling if you are not able to get everything inside your trousers or inside the pouches or pockets in the trousers. So you have everything for transit, for very, I would say, travel days inside of one thing without unzipping the whole bag itself. So if you then take a look at how my bag normally looks like, so as I said, normally the camera would sit right here in the middle. I would also put my charging brick, my international charger right there. And then as you saw before, these are the two packing cubes with my clothes. This is my packing cube for everything else. I would normally store my shoes. So these are my sneakers, my runners. I would normally store them right above the tech packing cube. So maybe you can say it's a little bit a layer of protection again. And if I don't use my sling, I will put that sling just right here. And if you zip it up, you can still see it's like it's not fully packed at the moment actually. So I still have some space, but I don't have items to fill that space. So as I said, try to pack as tightly as possible so everything is well protected. And then I just close up my front lid or this thing here, zip it up, and put the most important documents right at the top here. So I have everything well packed in my bag. And I think it's very easy actually to get access to everything that I need in a minute if I want to work, if I want to have my most important documents. So it's very easy to organize the bag and very easy to access everything that I need. As you can see, it's actually very easy and simple to organize your bag for your next trip or even for a one bag life. Just remember that the most heaviest things should be at the bottom, and the things you need quick access to should be at a point where you have quick access to, like the top of your bag. Just remember that everything else will fit into place when you just follow these two general rules. And I would say for me personally, it's by far the easiest and simplest way to organize my bag, so I don't have to stress about looking for everything that I have and where it is. So especially for the quick access items, I know where they are, and as I said, as the name suggests, I will always quick access to them. But now that you know how I organize my 30-liter carry-on size backpack in a very efficient and easy way for a one bag life, here is my best tip on how you can pack your bag for your next trip even the same way, as efficient and as easy, even if you're not pursuing a one bag life. And maybe you noticed that when I unpack my bag at the beginning, the first thing to realize is that you shouldn't leave any space at all. And what I mean with that is that you should pack as tightly as possible, especially in the packing cubes and in general. You should never have like big spaces in your bag where you can stuff in some big things. You should definitely try to pack everything as compact as possible and fill in every gap with little things that maybe doesn't fit into one of your packing solutions at the end, because then everything is well compressed and have a very safe space around them. And as I mentioned before, you should definitely put the heaviest things at the bottom of the bag, because then your bag has much more stability and you don't have the fear that these heavy things will crush down the rest of your bag. And also put just the quick access things at the top of the bag or in a pouch where you will have quick access to, just so you can get a much easier workflow or flow in general when you're looking for them. And the last thing I would say is that you should put like precious things that are easily can be broken, like a camera or something else, in the middle of the bag, because most of the times the middle of the bag will be the part that is the most protected, So put everything valuable that shouldn't be broken in the middle of the bag. And for the rest of the stuff, it's actually a little bit of try and error. As I also mentioned before, when you pack these things at the bottom and the quick access things, there is not a lot of space left most of the times, so you will find a way for yourself how to fit the rest of the items in your bag. So just try out different methods, different packing styles to find the way that fits your personal needs the best, and then everything will fit into place and will easily be packed every time again. And no, I actually don't think you need packing cubes to have like a perfectly organized and easy to access bag. Even though for me personally, I wouldn't be able to have an organized and perfectly easy packed bag without packing cubes, I actually think that everybody who can pack a bag with packing cubes can also pack a bag without them. So if you think they are not suitable for you, or you have a bag that has like a lot of compartments where you can put things, just don't use packing cubes. This is like no magical thing that will solve all of your problems. Just find the packing solution that will work for you and how you can be as organized and as easy accessible as possible. So don't feel the pressure to buy every pouch, as I said, every packing cube or so, just that you can pack easier or simpler, because it's definitely not the way. If you end up liking the video, don't forget to subscribe and like, but most important, leave a comment with what you think is the easiest and best way to pack a bag. The next video will be about the things I stopped buying when I switched my lifestyle to a one-bag life. In the meantime, you can watch my last video where I show you every item that is currently in my 30-liter carry-on size backpack for my personal one-bag life. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I see you in the next video.